Hey everybody, this is Justin, aka Demonic Sweaters, and today we're here with Drum Vlog episode number 27. Today I'm going to be restoring, this old Tama Rockstar snare drum I got off of eBay for $40, including shipping, which is a really cheap price, I think. So anyway, I'm going to fix this thing up, put some new heads, a new snare wire on it, and take it up and do some recording. So anyway, here we go. So let me just show you guys what it needs, and I think that's why they were selling it for so cheap. And if you look closely at the shell, even though it's kind of hard to see on the video, it does have some pitting, some rusting going on the shell there, which to me, that doesn't really bother me that much, but I still know a way we can get rid of that, and I'm going to show you guys. But underneath, there's no snares, as you can see, and the batter head on it is kind of not great. Got some Evans snares here, Evans Pure Sound, and I'm going to put that on there. For heads, I've got I basically just had these, laying around in the studio. An Emperor, Black Emperor that's barely used. And then here I have another Ambassador side snare head. Underneath the head on the edge here, you can't really see that. You can kind of see it there. There's some rust and some pitting and things like that. So I'm going to take care of that too. So let's go ahead and take off the head. Bottom head first, I guess. The funny thing is this snare, the snare wires were almost as expensive as the snare drum. These were like 30 bucks. So there is a little dent there, but it doesn't seem like it goes past the top part of the hoop. And overall, it didn't feel like the head was stuck in there or anything. So I think that should be fine. And now what I'm gonna do is basically first just wipe this down. Let's take the hoop away. I'm gonna wipe down the edge. Just have an old towel. See how much of this is actual corrosion and how much it is just dirt. Because it might just be mostly dirt. And that's what it's looking like. There's the trouble spot right there. Well, what I'm going to do is take some steel wool. And I'm basically clearing that right up. So this is number 1 grit steel wool. Do you call it steel wool? Grit? Can't remember. Steel wool, though, you can use to get rid of a lot of, imperfections on chrome. Like, I don't know if you can see that, but, that'll get rid of these little pitting type blemishes on the shell. And, the thing is, you just don't want to do it too much because then eventually it'll wear through, the chrome. But I'm not going to go crazy here. I really don't care. As long as it's not on the edge. It's not like bothering me. I'm sure it'll still sound great, and it really doesn't look that bad. I'm just gonna clean it up. I've seen like far worse condition snare drums selling on Reverb and eBay. I'm just making sure these aren't stripped out because that can be an issue with some of these Tama snare drums, the older ones. Strainers strip out here. I bet that happened before. And just they're an easy replacement though. Usually it's a very standard fit. The strainer. But these ones seem like they're good. We'll know when I really try to tighten it down. Okay, let's take off that other head, the batter head. And yeah, this top edge is actually a bit rougher than the one on the bottom. So I'm glad I'm doing this steel wool wipe down here. Still really not bad though. I mean, there's nothing like corroding through the shell or anything. Not bad, actually. Really not bad. It all seems to be functioning smoothly. I remove all the tension rods. Mostly I'm going for this part. The part that actually makes the contact on the head. That's really where I want to smooth out the most. I mean, of course, the whole thing being smooth is important, but the part that actually makes the contact on the head, if it's super rough, it could actually tear through, so you don't want that. Pretty good. Let's wipe it down again. Okay, now time for the second one. Let's not lose these tension rods. You can find some good deals out there. Now there's probably the worst bit of rust I've seen on this thing. Right there. Can you guys see that? That's pretty bad. I may have to spend a little more time on that one. But on the bottom though, like there, the part that makes contact isn't as bad. So thankfully, but that's pretty rough. I may even want to, yeah, I was going to say I may even want to put like a clear coat over that after I sand it, but that's too much work. I think it'll be fine. I'll just smooth this out. Already getting better. Wonder how it got so rusty. They must have had this in a very humid environment. Because the rest of the drum is in actually like very good shape. So I'm not sure what would cause that. Oh, you know, normally I would probably check to see if everything's tight. But fuck it. I'm just going to assume it is. Alrighty, so just a little drop of 3-in-1 oil in each. Oh shoot, it just poured out of there. There's way too much in that one. Bottom snare heads are so thin. I don't crank mine insanely tight. I mean, I keep it, you know, medium tight. Because I find if I do the bottom too tight, I don't get a very good snare response. I like a nice snare sound, and you tend to get more of that when you keep the bottom. You give the bottom a little more, you know, breathing room. Whatever. I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. I'm gonna wait until I get to the studio to really tune it up. Okay. Okay. Let's get this down through here. If you've never done this before, this is how you do it. They used to have strings back in the day. I'm sure some of them still have strings, but the strings were a much bigger pain in the ass to get in there right. Okay, so I'm gonna set my, what I do, here's how I do it. I kind of look at the snares and see where I want it to be. And then I tension my non-throw off side first. I tighten this one up first because I've kind of eyed and held it in position where I want this snare to rest on the drum. And then I tighten this one up. Okay, and those seem like they hold good. Okay, so that's good. Now on the other side, we make sure that this doohickey is kind of in the middle of its, you know, looseness or tightness, just somewhere in the middle. And then I open it, you know, I loosen it with the lever. Well, first off, let's see how, okay. Loosen it with the lever, give it a little bit of space, like that. I know that's a little bit, isn't very precise, but it's a feel thing. The more times you do this, the better you get at it. And then slowly tighten each side. I want to try to position this in the middle as best you can. Okay, and that side seems to be secure as well. Very nice, okay? Now, it could definitely be tighter than that, but actually, let's make this a little bit tighter. So, loosen that bit. Let's go like, well, look, I'm using those notches. Let's go one more notch up. Okay, don't over tighten it. If you over tighten it, you'll definitely strip those out. Okay, there we go. That seems good. Perfect. All right, so I did a little bit of digging on Tama's website in their back catalogs, and I found this snare in the 1997 catalog for the Rockstar, and it looks like that was the first appearance of this snare. And then I found another one that was around, I think, 2003. Let me pull that up here. Well, here's a screenshot I took. So let's just open this up. So yeah, this one was in the 2003 catalog, and you can see the metal snare right there. But I couldn't really find another close-up like that 1997. But it does look like it kind of ran from 1997 to 2003 is what I'm thinking for this particular snare. I actually really like that Rockstar. That's a really cool setup right there. I would totally play that. All right, I got it here at the studio, and I've got it mic'd up. I'm using a Audio-Technica ATM 650, which is pretty similar to a Shure SM57, but the only difference is these have a little bit better side rejection, so you don't get as much hi-hat in this mic as you do in SM57, so I really like that. And there's the snare. It sounds really, really freaking good. Like, really good. It's crazy. I already recorded some with it, and I'm very happy with the sounds that I'm getting. The only thing is one time I had the throw off a little bit close to my knee, and I accidentally threw it. I'm not sure how I did that. It feels kind of hard to throw off, but somehow I switched it off while I was doing one of the takes. But it's really nice. Definitely worth $40 for sure. It sounds great. It's got a totally different vibe than my other snare drum. And I kind of like the ebony head on there and the whole ensemble here. It looks kind of cool. I've got the Peisty 900s, some older 2000 color sound hi-hats, and new acquisition here, the Heavy Ride 22-inch. This thing is amazing, and I got it in the color sound as well. I like that the color sounds actually are a little drier than the regular 900s. Like, it takes away some of the sustain, especially on a ride cymbal. I dig that. I'm not sure that I would want it on the crashes, but you know, the regular 900s look really freaking cool too. So kind of the whole combo of everything, I think, looks really awesome. And they just sound so nice. These crashes, well, the whole setup, you know, recorded, they really, really shine in the mix. It's crazy. Like, I've had a lot of Peisties in the past, and I know this is a midline, you know, cymbal, the 900, but I really think they just sound really cool to me. Like, they're very Peisty-y, but they just have this explosive, you know, very crystal clear, like, tone to them that's, like, just really, really nice. But anyway, I'm going to show you guys some of the stuff I recorded.